And we're seeing some light to moderate rain still falling here in northeast Oklahoma, but the big game coming up later on this evening, it's Bedlam over in Stillwater. Let's take a look at that forecast. Looks like we're going to see temperatures holding in the mid-30s around kickoff at 7 o'clock this evening. It's going to be damp and cold. Now, it looks like the majority of the rainfall should move east to Stillwater by the time the game begins, but we could still see a little bit of drizzle out there, and it's definitely going to be on the cold side. So if you're heading over to Stillwater for Bedlam, make sure that you dress appropriately. It is going to be cold for the game later on this evening. Let's take a look at some of the 48-hour rainfall totals, and they've been quite impressive. Remember, over the last several days, we were talking about some places in the state, in southeast Oklahoma, could pick up anywhere from 6 to 8 to 9 to 10 inches of rainfall, and we have seen that. Down around Hugo in southeast Oklahoma has picked up over 8 inches of rainfall. Here in our viewing area, we've picked up anywhere from about 2 to as much as almost 6 inches of rainfall. You notice Wilburton so far has picked up a little over 5.5 inches of rain, nearly 5 inches of rain in McAllister. Okmulgee, 4 3/4 inches of rain. You notice Porter and Haskell over 4 inches of rain, and Tulsa officially now with 0.06 inches over the last hour. We're now up to 3.86 inches of rainfall just over the last couple of days, so we have seen some heavy amounts of rain here in eastern Oklahoma. And when you add this on top of the rainfall we saw earlier in the month, so far we are the 7th wettest November on record right here in the Tulsa area. You have to go back to 1996, the last time we actually saw a wetter November than this, and it's the 12th wettest year on record. Earlier in the week we were at the 17th wettest, so we've jumped up 5 spots with this latest rainfall over the last couple of days. You have to go back to 2008, the last time we saw a wetter year than what we've seen so far here in the Tulsa area, and there's more rain headed our way, light to moderate rain as we move on through the rest of the morning into the afternoon. Here's a live look at your storm shelter radar, and you notice we are still seeing some of that light to moderate rain pushing from the southwest to the northeast right across the Tulsa area. At times we are seeing a few breaks in the rainfall, maybe just some drizzle or some very light rain. You notice a couple little patches as it moves on through right now around McAllister, just some very light rain. We're going to see this trend continue here for the next several hours through the rest of the morning into the early to mid-afternoon hours, as we're seeing temperatures generally running above freezing here in eastern Oklahoma in that green shading. But as you move back to the west, you notice this pink shading. That's where we're still seeing some rainfall, but we're seeing temperatures at and below 32 degrees. So we are seeing a little bit of light freezing rain across these areas of north central, central, and western Oklahoma, even a little bit of light snow flying up in northwestern sections of the state. All right, let's take a look at all the watches and warnings and advisories ongoing out there. Nothing officially here in Tulsa. You notice to the southeast we have a flash flood watch still until 6 o'clock this evening. Does include most of east central and southeast Oklahoma. In the pink shading, that is a freezing rain advisory for Washington, Osage, Pawnee, and Creek counties. That runs until noon. Temperatures are right around freezing, just a degree or two above freezing, so I expect maybe a couple of slick spots in these locations on some of the bridges, but most of the roads will be in great shape, just wet north and west of Tulsa. Then further out to the west, from Ponca City to Stillwater to Chandler, out into central and western Oklahoma, we still have an ice storm warning until noon today. That's where we've seen the most significant problems. That's where temperatures have stayed at and below freezing through the overnight, with quite a bit of freezing rain in those locations. As we take a look at Brookside, just wet roadways here in Brookside with temperatures above freezing, 36 degrees, north winds currently at 13, so that combination of temperature and wind making it feel cold out there this morning. We're 35 in Skytook, 36 in Bixby, 36 in Broken Arrow, 37 Claremore, 35 this morning, Jinx to Sand Springs and Sapulpa, 34 in Bartlesville, and 32 in Ponca City. So you notice that freezing line is right through Osage County, extending back into eastern Payne County. So anywhere to the west of that line, that's where we'll have a chance for some slick spots on especially some of the bridges out there. Bartlesville above freezing right now. I don't expect any significant problems, but the roads are wet across all of eastern Oklahoma, so you want to slow down, give yourself a little extra time because of the wet roadways, even though temperatures are above freezing. You throw that north wind in, feels like the upper 20s to lower 30s in many locations, so it is a cold start out there. We're not going to see much of a warm-up throughout the day. Area-wide, temperatures in the 20s and 30s from Kansas into sections of Oklahoma. All right, on future track, as we move on through the morning hours, showers around through the morning. You notice we'll see a few breaks. We'll see the rain lighten up a little bit. It'll pick up a little bit and it'll lighten again. You notice as we move toward the afternoon hours, the best chance of seeing more significant rain, light to moderate rain across eastern Oklahoma over around Stillwater. You notice starting to taper off, but we can still see a little bit of drizzle over there from time to time. As we move through the evening hours, best chance of seeing more rain would be across areas of south central and southeastern Oklahoma, but even here in northeast Oklahoma through the overnight, chance of more showers through the overnight, and then we'll see more showers possible as we move on through the day tomorrow. Then it looks like as we move on into Monday, it'll start to lift off to the north and to the east, and we'll see improving conditions by then. Here's a look at your forecast for today. Highs not going anywhere, staying in the upper 30s to around 40 degrees, 39 expected in Tulsa, 41 Chakotah. In southeast Oklahoma, we'll see temperatures upper 30s and lower 40s. What about the next 7 days? Well, that good chance of rain, especially this morning through the early to mid-afternoon hours, only down to 36 tonight with rain Need some showers still around. That'll continue on Sunday. Slight chance again on Monday. Then finally, Libby, we break out into some sunshine and warm things up back in the 50s by Monday and Tuesday. And that sun is going to feel great after all the clouds and rain we've seen over the last several days.
Yeah, it'll certainly be nice to see that sun and warm up quite a bit.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice week ahead once we get through this. But wow, what a rainy period we've seen so
It
far
really
this
has
month.
been.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Taft. Well, tragedy.